Hi everybody. Just wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about week 4. So today's Friday. I'm sure weekends are a busy time for you guys. I will be continuing to work through your proposals, but all are looking good, and I'm really excited about what you guys are coming up with. So this coming up week is all about science, and the science behind trauma-informed care. So there's really 4 bodies, and I kept Mandy's talk in there called NEAR Science. I actually train the same way and teach the same way around the science. So NEAR being an acronym for the neurobiology of science. And I really take some time to think about how the brain structures are involved in trauma imprinting on our brains, and how our brain structures are involved in the resilience behind coming through and recovering through traumatic and experiences and adversity. Then epigenetics, and you'll be reading a little bit about that, and Mandy also talks about that in her presentation. And the ACEs study. So I added a video that I like, which is a TED Talk from Nadine Burke. She actually has a new book out called The Deepest Well, and it's understanding adversity through kind of the lifespan and childhood. She's a pediatrician. She's currently holding a position as Surgeon General in California. So really doing some cool work from a systems level and a policy level, really based in the ACEs study. And I encourage you to check out the ACE study website. There's a lot of interesting research, at least that I found interesting in understanding how adversity and childhood experiences kind of tie with health outcomes. And then resilience. And so the study of resiliency factors and how each human and how our brains and bodies and spirits hold resilience and show resilience through our experiences of adversity and trauma. So the reason we talk about the science, is important no matter what kind of work you're doing. So if you're working directly with survivors of trauma, or you're working in systems where people who've experienced trauma are coming to work with you, obviously understanding the science helps you understand and integrate why you might choose certain interventions. But from the micro perspective, and then from the meso perspective, understanding and being able to speak and tie research and science to the why and the what and the how of trauma-informed care is incredibly valuable. So for those of you that maybe when you interviewed folks have had felt some resistance or heard some resistance to trauma-informed care, finding gems in this week of science that resonates with you, that you have real life examples of how it manifests in the work that you do, is really key. When I train in the NEAR Science, I tell a lot of stories, and that seems to be really helpful to tie that connection to like why we would run a policy through the science behind trauma-informed care to better understand the decisions we're making. So the NEAR is kind of 4 big bodies of science, and I'm really excited for you guys to get some time to dive into them. Also this week, there is an assignment. So I'm going to record a separate video this weekend talking a little bit more about this assignment. So I did this assignment last year in the distance learning program when I taught down in Salem. And it's really fun, and I'm used to some of the questions that might come up. So I'll address one now, which was, what if I don't have an internship? And I think I've talked to most of you who are not yet in a placement or internship. So when this says referencing interviewing people, if you're not in an internship, think about where and who could you interview someone who deals with people with difficult behaviors. So I think of like libraries, food kitchens, each other. If you have a friend in the class or through your guys' introductions and offerings of how to support each other, if anybody said they were willing to talk on the phone or Skype or Zoom, this is an opportunity that maybe one of your peers would be willing to be interviewed. So get creative with it, and do reach out to me if you have any further questions about that. Also, because there's an assignment due, I'm going to hold some office hours on Tuesday. I'm looking at like 4:30 to 5:45. But when I post a video specific to the Trauma Lens assignment, I will also confirm those hours. So Mandy has a video in there. She created this assignment, and I left it in there for you so you could hear her talk about it. Formatting often comes up. I do want you to use a table format, and for those of you that love formatting, you'll be excited about this. And for those of you like me that sometimes struggle with formatting in documents, this will just take some extra attention to detail to have this table come out looking professional and well thought out. So anyway, more to come with that, but you guys are doing a great job. Keep the questions coming. Text me if you need anything, and I look forward to reading your assignments on the trauma lens table. Have a great week.